What's going on, guys? It is time for another episode of The Hustle. I am massively excited about today because we've got Nick, we've got a Maserati, and we've got some good old Americana. Let's roll that over. All right, guys, special edition of The Hustle. Some true Americana in the house. My boy Nick. Why don't you tell everybody who you are?
Hi, how you doing? My name is Nick Candy. I'm an entrepreneur here in Connecticut. Came up from a pretty humble and poor background and was able to put myself through college using the military funds that I received in the National Guard. And when I got out of school, there wasn't much for opportunity at the time in 2001. So I started my own business. And today we're doing very well, and I've since become more of a serial entrepreneur than anything, I would assume.
So Nick, we scroll through on Instagram all the time, on Facebook, and we see what I like to refer to as bullshit entrepreneurs. Guys will go, they'll rent a car for a couple of hours so they can take a whole bunch of pictures with it, or they'll go to the bank and they'll take out a loan of 20 grand for a couple hours so that they can throw the cash on a bed and roll in it and put it up online. But entrepreneurship really it's not about the win, right? It's about the challenges and the hustles. Tell everybody how you started and how you sort of got into the world of being an entrepreneur.
To be honest with you, I was having trouble finding a job. When I was younger, I did get in a little bit of trouble here and there, which kept me out of the running for certain positions with certain companies that might have overlooked me because of that. I was working as a bouncer and a wrestling coach, and one of my friends came and woke me up and said, "Hey, I need help. We're doing some appliance delivery and installation." He was. And I said, "Well, what do I got to do?" He said, "You just got to help me carry some stuff and hand me some tools." And I said, "Am I going to get paid?" He said, "Yeah." So I was like, "All right." And I got out of bed. And that day I was like, "Wow, this is really freaking easy." I was like, "I can do this." So the next day I worked again and again and again, and so on and so forth. And I would work 7 days straight. I didn't want a Saturday off. I didn't want a Sunday off. I saw the opportunity. I said I could take this kind of industry type opportunity over, and prove my work, and got one truck, and then 2 trucks, and then 3 trucks, and then started landing a lot of contracts that way, and then eventually, was able to sidestep a little bit while keeping that and get into energy efficiency projects, which are really big right now, and they're helping everybody. So they're sponsored by the state and the Department of Energy, and the energy companies actually owe it to you to run those programs, because they've been taking the money out of your check for a long time, or out of your invoice for a long time, and a lot of people don't even realize that. So now that's come to light. That business is doing well, and I often get a lot of people come to me asking for business advice, or ask me for business loans. And so I started doing some loaning and some investing and some consulting, and here I am.
So how does it feel to look back? We were talking about this before we started filming the show today. The argument that somebody made that we all have the Donald Trump syndrome, all those of us who are successful, which is the guy got $1 million loan from his father and turned it into an $11 billion company. We didn't have any of that. We didn't get even that support, which I'm fully in support of turning a $1 million loan into a multi-billion-dollar return.
I would take that bet, yeah. I would say, I remember, kicking people out of my house early because, we didn't have electricity, and I'd be embarrassed when we couldn't turn the lights on. We had a cooler in our kitchen, and we cooked on the grill sometimes. That was my life, you know what I mean? But I stayed positive, I was always good to the people that were good to me, stood up for what I believed in, didn't let anybody bully me, but I wasn't a bully at the same time. So I think those traits kind of carried over.
Well, I think a lot of those core values have really helped sculpt you into who you are. Talk to me a little bit about your military background and how that impacted you as an entrepreneur.
I would say The discipline. I mean, I didn't actually join until I was 21. I was at UConn at the time, and at first I had got financial aid through the school, and then I wasn't really keen. I mean, nobody had really showed me how to college. I mean, I didn't even know what a major was. I mean, I thought everybody went to UConn, got the same piece of paper 4 years later and left. I didn't know what was going on. I knew I could always, if I studied something, I could pass it my whole life. I've always been blessed that way, I'd have to say. But I didn't really know what I was doing in college. And when I got the first bill and it was like thousands, I was like, what? I've never seen a bill that large in my life. A $100 electricity bill was too much back in the day. So I freaked out. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I can't go to school anymore. So I started, I went part-time because I could afford 2 classes. And then I realized, oh man, this is gonna take me like 20 years. But I really want to get my degree. So having said that, a lot of going through that, I was in a fraternity also. And when you're up in a UConn in a fraternity taking 2 classes, the structure can get away from you a little bit. Oh, that's a nice way to put it.
I was going to say that's a very gentle way of putting it.
So, having to join the military in order to finish school, it took me out, for the summer, and it put me in boot camp and put me in my AIT and my MOS. I met some good people, got myself back in line. As a wrestler, the physical part was easy for me. I was really a little bit disappointed. I thought it would be harder. But mentally, it was a tough thing to do.
You sort of look like The Rock, like a lighter skinned version of The Rock. I probably wouldn't mess with you in boot camp.
I didn't know that. Nobody messed with me. I was left alone.
So, now you sort of look at things from a different perspective, which is the perspective of a business owner and a father and, someone who's served our country. When you look at the insanity that's happening in this world, when you look at people who have enough time on their hands to stand around and protest the results of the democratic process working, how does that feel?
I'm all for protesting. If you want to protest, go ahead and protest. Just, you have to be so damn annoying about it. I mean, give me a break. I mean, you're out in the streets, you're uninformed. Uninformed protests annoy the hell out of me. You can have them, but don't wonder why people are annoyed. You know what I mean? Don't be hypocritical. Don't tell somebody that you're undermining the democratic process if you question the election one week, and then the next week, question the election. That's hypocritical. There's no room in my life for hypocrites.
Well, I noticed that in a lot of the swing states, they said that the millennial vote just didn't come out. It didn't turn out. And yet, in a lot of these swing states, it's the millennial demographic that is out there protesting right now, which is sort of funny.
It's a herd mentality, if you ask me. I mean, but in a way, I can't blame them. They don't know any better than what their liberal arts professors are showing them, or what they might see on CNN or MSNBC. I mean, these people are no more than actors. Sure. They're played to take a part, and their side is against anybody who's against the establishment at this point. And they play that role very well, and they make it come off to a lot of people as truth. And a lot of people think if I see something on TV, it's so.
So I tend to get way off topic here with the hustle every once in a while. We could go on and on down this road forever. We could talk all about the social media wars we can get into with people.
It's brilliant. I mean, I love it. I do. Because you can watch the meltdown happen, and
it's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing.
So I want to, before we get into the really fun stuff here, any words of wisdom, pieces of advice for entrepreneurs, business owners, people trying to figure out how to grow their thing in this digital age? What would you as a successful entrepreneur tell them?
Well, there's no easy way. I would say, focus on what you do well. Use the resources given to you plus some. And always remember that once you start to be a little bit successful, people are going to want to hop on you, and they're going to want a piece of that. The problem with a lot of that is they don't want to give a piece of themselves. They just want to take a piece of you. So if you have people coming to you all the time and they're offering this and they're offering that as in the way of ideas or how they can get involved, but they really don't have any skin in the game, I would say be very cautious.
Love it. One other piece of advice I'd love to leave all of you with is find a source of stress relief. Running a business is not an easy task. It's you know, there's a lot that you take home, there's a lot that you try and leave at work. There really are no defined boundaries between home and work. So find something that you enjoy doing that's going to bring you a measure of stress relief. I think we're going to go do a little stress relief ourselves right now.
Let's do it.
True Americana style. Boys, come with us.